My future bleak with emotions I'm renouncing. They say I got what it takes. Learning from my mistakes. Through decisions I made. Swear I'm hungry for cake. My heart black and my mind gone and my soul cries, but I don't. I start spans to get too blow to get so high. Switch time.
All right, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What it do? We back, man. We back. Uh, we finna go on ahead and do a little chop it up session. We're gonna touch on a few topics. Dre, what's happening, fam? When we ain't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm?
yeah. The last couple of shows, but I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah, how everything been going with you? You good?
Good, man, blessed, man. Right.
Already. So I'm gonna go on ahead and give you your chance, man. You wasn't here last episode. Me and Deron was on here, and we was chopping it up, talking about the Super Bowl halftime. And you said that you got some. Now I know people who watching this don't be. We know the Super Bowl been over. You know what I'm saying? It's been over for a minute. And so to go back to it, sounds kind of crazy. But fam say he got some things he want to say about the Super Bowl halftime show and some points that he want to make. So come on, let us know, man.
Well, let me first start off by saying this. It was a very hot topic and debate at my parents' house. My dad watched the last episode, you know, and he agreed with you. Michael Jackson was the best of all time. Of course, Prince was in there, of course, included. But my stance on it was yes, we all of us is probably MJ fans, all of us are probably Prince fans. So just based off name recognition, you're gonna kind of already tip your hat and give it to him already. But the performance, you're right. Michael jumping out different parts of the arena was nice. It was epic. We all remember that. But I bet you can't remember too much else about that show. There was certain
That's
parts
no,
that
no, 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 no. That's not true. He had the whole crowd.
hold on.
They had the white hand and the black hand
Yeah,
holding hands at that time. Oh,
no,
I remember that.
it was an epic show, but there was parts of the show where you just watching it. Yes, they had some big hitting parts of the show that you will always remember, but there was gaps in that show that you was just okay. It's Michael doing what Michael do. Prince singing in the rain, Purple Rain, yes, epic. Don't get me wrong, that is. But there's just parts in the show you just Purple Rain, you just listening to him sing. And we're talking about two halftime shows that was pretty much those two individuals. This one, come on, man. Throughout the whole show, you cannot tell me you was bobbing your head and into every moment of that show. And it wasn't just Dre. You know what I'm saying? It went from Dre to Snoop to 50 to Mary J to Eminem to Kendrick Lamar. It was just, and they came with their biggest hits. So it wasn't no gap in that show where you kind of sat down or just was just watching. You was bobbing your head and dancing and saying every word to every part of that show. There wasn't a part of the show that I was like, just in it, tuned out or thinking about something else or thinking about what's going to happen in the second half of the game. When you hit with, we're talking about 6 or 7 hard hitting acts, back to back to back to back, I ain't never seen a Super Bowl like that. Never. Yeah, you had Super Bowls where you had, Justin Timberlake and Janet. You had like one or two good stars, but 5 or 6 of them with their best songs? Nah, man. To me, don't get me wrong, I love the Michael, I love the Prince, but I gotta tip my hat and give Dre just a small because it was hit after hit after hit. There wasn't no downtime in that halftime.
Yeah, and Michaels was hit after hit after hit. You grew up in that era. You knew every single song, and you sung every single song. I'm sorry, seeing 50 hanging upside down, it looked like a parody. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't singing
Oh,
along with Mary J. I wasn't singing along with Mary J. or Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Now some of the nostalgic, chronic songs, for Snoop and Dre, yeah, I got into them. And of course, y'all know that Eminem, to me is the greatest rapper of all time. Lyrically, he's the greatest rapper ever. You know what I'm saying? So I was in on that. I was in on him when he did Lose Yourself, but I'm not putting it ahead of Michael. He was a standalone act. It was nobody who could come behind Michael Jackson. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody would have came before Michael Jackson, they would have been forgotten about that they was even in the Super Bowl halftime show because you was coming in front of Michael Jackson. I'm
I think
sorry, bro.
because it's Michael. That's the reason why. Not actual the show. It's because it's Michael. It's his name. His name is.
It was the show too. Why you fronting on Mike's show like he wasn't a bomb, bro?
Like I said, it was a great show. But I know there was gaps in the show where he's singing his greatest hits, I'm Bad and Thriller and all that, but you just listening to and you're watching, but you're not really just crunk. That show from the start to the finish, I'm just, and of course I might be a little biased because so they singing some of my theme songs from back in the day, Got About Dre and you know what I'm saying and all that. But from the start of that, when Dre stepped on that stage to the end, you were in it, bobbing your head, saying word for word. That's just me. And it was multiple acts. We ain't talking about no boo-boo acts. All of them are legends in their own right. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Dre. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I got to say, man. What's the next topic? Hello?
Let me figure it out, man.
Yeah, fam.
Oh, Deron.
I know you're doing this show, dog.
I'm gonna try and send it back to you. Yeah, he was saying something about something with his Skype or whatever. He couldn't get in. But bro, I'm not fronting on what Dre and Snoop and all of them did. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to the halftime show. They it was a good performance, and you're right. We haven't never seen an all hip hop halftime show. And so that's, I think, you putting, a lot of emphasis on that part of it, that it was all black, it was all hip hop. And yes, it was, some of the biggest hits that they had, and so, nobody's fronting on that. But to rank it number one all time greatest halftime show, no. No, I'm sorry. It just ain't. It just wasn't. It wasn't that. Now, the thing that probably could have put it over the top is if when Dre started playing "I Ain't Mad at You" by Tupac, if you would have had the hologram of Tupac start singing that song, if you would have had a hologram of Biggie, hologram of Jam Master Jay, then we talking about something. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna go all out and do it like that, and then introduce some of the late greats that's passed on, or even if you want to do just straight West Coast, like I say, have a hologram of Tupac come up when Dre started playing "I Ain't Mad at You," and have him start singing that song. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle. Have a hologram of Nipsey Hussle come through and start singing one of his songs where you make it all West Coast. Okay, that takes it over the top. You know what I'm saying? But from where it was, man, I can't put it ahead of Mike. I can't put it ahead of Prince. I just can't do it.
All right.
All right, man. So let's talk about your girlfriend, your boo thing, LeBronisha. LeBron, Mr. LeBron James, your Lakers. I want to hear about the leader that always likes to run away when things get tough. You know what I'm saying? When he can't get his way, he always wants to bail. He's such a leader. Except you never seen him lead through tough times. Every time things got tough, every time his teams weren't playing great, his remedy wasn't to lead. It was to trade away as many people as he could to try and get a new team for the second half of the season and try and make a run. That's not a leader. But I want you to explain to me about his leadership and what he's doing, with his team this year.
It reminds you of somebody else your girlfriend. That's what it reminds you of. But, there's nothing wrong with LeBron, his leadership. The boy's playing out of his mind right now. His partner in crime is hurt. You know what I'm saying? They owe. He's realizing that he probably made a mistake for the Westbrook experiment, but he's taking it on the chin. But I don't think he's belling. I don't think he's going to leave LA. I think he's playing a chess match with the ownership and management to change the GM. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking he's shaking things up, but I don't think he's going to build LA until his son get here. He ain't going to leave LA.
He gonna leave. He gonna leave LA. He got one more year left on his deal. His son don't hit the NFL. Ain't gonna hit the NBA for another 3 years. Like he's only a junior, so he still got high school. I mean, he still got a senior year of high school, and he got at least 1 year either in college or in the G League. So it's gonna be that third year. So he ain't gonna be in LA that long. And why is dude always trying to get somebody fired? Like, how many coaches have he got fired? Now he's trying to get a GM fired. He didn't trade during his tenure since the first time he left Cleveland, right? Since the first time he left Cleveland, LeBron has had over 60 dudes get traded off his team.
Okay.
What you mean, okay?
He been to 10 finals by having him traded off his team. I don't care. It works. The boy's been to 10 finals. You know what I'm saying? And
my point. So my point that I'm trying to get you to answer for is, how does he get all this credit for being a leader, but every time things get tough, his remedy is to trade people away, to try to get other people. Whereas, when things went tough, for Hakeem, he didn't say trade away Kenny and Mad Max and Mario Ellie and those guys to get a better team. He fought through it and he won a championship. Tim Duncan didn't say, things going rough, let's trade away Tony Parker, and Sean Ellis and all these guys so that we can try and win a championship. No, he fought through it. He led his troops to a championship. Giannis, when his team seemed like they couldn't get over the hump, he didn't say, let's trade away everybody so I can try and win me a championship. I need another superstar. I need 2 superstars. I need 3 superstars. I need a superstar-laden team for me to win a ring. No, he pushed through it to get to a championship. So why is LeBron's remedy always to trade away other men? Look at the bodies. Look at all the bodies, Dre. Why is his remedy to trade away people instead of pushing through to the other side, leading his troops so that they can get to the ultimate goal?
First of all, with Hakeem, they eventually did trade everybody to get Charles Barkley. But prior to that, he had a Hall of Fame coach, for one. And then we're talking about the 90s, where free agents nowhere near what they didn't have the power they have now to trade and move and make super teams like they did.
I know they had to push through. They had to find a way to push through. They ain't have no easy. They ain't have no easy roads.
Have that conversation with the players, the NBA Players Association. They the one gave them that power. Then you fast forward to the Spurs. Tim Duncan didn't have to trade anybody else. He had 2 other Hall of Famers and the best coach to probably ever coach on his roster already. And then you want to give the Greek Freak.
All the excuses, man.
Go look at Greek Freak's roster last year, 2 years ago, and the one from last year. Holiday, all that whole bench, all of them were new players. The only person he had was him, Middleton, and Lopez. Bobby Portis wasn't on that team 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Holiday was not on that. The point guard was not on that team 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Well, who helped them win that championship? Portis and that point guard were additions, trade in the middle of the season at that. So we can't
First of all, the first year that they point guard got there, they didn't win. They got eliminated early. Same point guard. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, yes, he was there 2 years. He was there the year after the bubble. Yes, he was, bro. Yes, he was. The year after the bubble, he got there. They got eliminated early, and then he backdoored and came with the same team. When LeBron and AD was trying to coerce him into leaving, and he said, I'm not leaving. And they won a championship. And he was finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? This, like, you making up excuses. Oh, he had the best coach. Oh, he had this. Oh, well, LeBron handpicked his coaches in every way he's been outside of Miami. And the only reason why he did it in Miami is because Pat Riley wasn't going for it.
He
He
had a
told him, "Oh, you're not coming over here. You're not coming over here making no decisions." That's why it wasn't a bunch of trades done. He wasn't trading away people in Miami when they were struggling. When he tried to get Spoelstra fired, said no. You finna deal with this the coach I want, so this is the coach that's gonna coach this team. This is the roster we have. You gotta figure it out. And congrats. Congrats to Jeannie Buss and Pelinka and the front office over there in LA for saying you wanted Russ. You wanted Melo. You wanted AD. You wanted Dwight Howard. Rondo, you wanted Rondo. Rondo said, "Man, I'm out of here. This is a circus." But you wanted these guys. Then when things ain't going your way, you want everybody traded. Taylor Horton Tucker. LeBron, the one vouched for him, didn't want him to get traded when they could have got Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan or the boy in Sacramento. I can't think of his name right now. All of those players is what the Lakers front office wanted. LeBron didn't want them. But yet, get to mid-season, things ain't going right. He want them traded. When they decide not to trade him, now he want to pout. Now he talking about Cleveland. Now he talking about his son. Like, come on. Clutch Sports is upset with the Lakers front office. Man, get out of here, man. Get out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's this dude's MO. He's been like that his entire career. Outside of Miami, where Pat Riley wasn't going for it. In Cleveland, he did the same thing. LA, he doing the same thing. I'm sorry, bro. I need you to tell me why this dude's MO is to trade away people or to catch out, get on the next thing smoking when he can't get his way and things ain't going right, as opposed to him being a true leader, leading your troops, doing whatever is necessary. Kobe Bryant, I'm sorry, when he went on that second string of three-peat, not the one with Shaq where everybody wanted to kill him, but on that second three-game win streak, on that second three-peat where he went to the finals 3 straight years, he didn't have no other superstar next to him. And that team faced adversity. That team faced adversity, and his remedy wasn't to trade away Ron Artest or to trade away Pau Gasol or to trade away Trevor Ariza or whoever it was he had to get rid of to get another superstar. No, he got in people's face. He checked people at practice. He got in people on the court, and he gave his all on both sides of the court, on both ends of the court, to rally his troops and say, "Look, I'm gonna give everything. Y'all finna give everything too." And they got to the finals 3 straight times. He won 2 out of 3. I've never seen that out of LeBron James.
Oh, so he didn't do it in Cleveland when they beat the Golden State. Who was on the Cleveland squad? He didn't lead that Cleveland squad when Irvin got hurt and Kevin Love was hurt, and they beat the 72 win.
No. Listen. Let's be clear. Let's be clear now. Now, when you talk about, hold up. Let me answer that.
Cleveland squad when they lost to the Spurs, he wasn't a leader then.
Are you gonna let me answer any of these questions? Okay. So when you talk about the Golden State game, the Golden State series, right? It was Kyrie Irving in Game 5 that went off. LeBron jumped in it late, but Kyrie Irving was the one who said, "I'm not gonna fold." Kyrie Irving averaged the same amount of points in that series as LeBron James did. Kyrie Irving had a big Game 6 and a big Game 7, not to mention the game-winning shot heard around the world, you know what I'm saying, that won them that series. Don't sit up and act like LeBron, rallied the troops to do it. To be honest with you, Kyrie was the head of the spear. LeBron was the bigger name. LeBron got credit, but Kyrie was the tip of the spear, bro.
He had a 40-point triple-double in that game. I guess you just forgot that part. And the big block on what's the name down there to set up the game-winning shot. You don't remember him pinning against the backboard. You just forgot about that, right?
No, I remember the block because that's all they wanted to show after the game. But you didn't show that Kyrie went off in that game. You didn't show that Kyrie gave them the dagger to end the game.
LeBron scored points, got rebounds, assists and steals. He had a 14-point triple-double in Game 7 against a 72-win team.
Okay, but that ain't what we took. Now you want to get on individual stats. What I'm saying is you cannot sit up and say that he led that team. Kyrie Irving was the one who had the "I'm not finna fold" in Game 5. LeBron didn't start showing up until the second half. And Kyrie also had a 40-point game in that series. Kyrie is the one who hit the dagger to send them home to complete the comeback. I'm sorry, not to mention that Golden State Warriors team lost Draymond in Game 5 and lost they starting center in Game 5 for the rest of the series. And Iguodala was hurt, so he do got that on his resume. But let's not overdo it.
What was the question? The question was him leading. He didn't lead that team to that final.
No, he didn't. No.
Look at the roster. Outside of him and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, look at that roster.
Outside of. So you talking about a big three, and they was getting curve stomped. It was 3-1. It was 3-1, and until Draymond got suspended and the big man got hurt, you know what I'm saying? They was dominating that series. Every series after that, they got dominated. Couldn't do nothing once KD got there.
Here's my point. Kyrie Irving has not played more than 60 games, only one time his whole career, including that season. So that same LeBron, who had to deal with the same Kyrie Irving that KD's dealing with now, and Kevin Love getting hurt, led them to the #1 East record in the East and to the finals. KD can't do that now. With the same issues that LeBron got to go through, and KD got Steve Nash as a head coach. LeBron had who?
Well, let's hold on. He got Tyronn Lue. Well, Tyronn Lue keeps smashing him every time they play each other with the Clippers. That's who he had as his coach. Number two, you talking about KD can't do it now. KD can't do it now because KD is hurt. KD has been dealing with injuries since his last year in Golden State. So the dude, he himself hasn't been healthy. And then when they got to the playoffs last year, you had a one-leg James Harden and no Kyrie because Kyrie was hurt. So you're right. KD alone can't do it. But neither can LeBron, and KD ain't advocating for his GM to fire everybody or trade everybody because they struggling at the trade deadline.
First of all, listen, we're talking about the second best player of all times that you're arguing about right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Your opinion. I don't got him second.
He's ranked number 2 on the NBA 75.
I don't care where they rank them. That ain't my opinion. That's why we started. Listen, that's why we started our own little show, our own podcast. We ain't got millions of people watching or subscribing or none of that. But this is our thing, and so we can give our own opinions, not based on what the NBA top 75 think.
In my own opinion, I'm the NBA top 75, and I almost agree with Isaiah Thomas, a Hall of Famer. It's closer than people gonna say between number one. If you go look at the numbers, you know, like Isaiah said on First Take the other day. Well, that's a whole different debate. Who Michael had to beat and who had LeBron had to beat is not even close. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna get in that debate. We gonna leave that alone.
And that's from a Michael Jordan hater.
No, I don't care
what Isaiah Thomas got to say.
I love Michael Jordan. He's my second favorite player outside of Kim Olajuwon. You know what I'm saying? I love Michael Jordan, but I'm being real watching basketball and understand that he ain't just scoring. The boy getting rebounds, defense, and assists, and he's not just worrying about trying to be like Michael. He's trying to be a combination of Michael and Magic. To me, that's greatness. That's doing it different.
Yeah, well, again, you're biased. You know what I'm saying? You have a love affair with LeBron James. My top 5, and I told this to Deron. Was it on our last pod? I don't know. Because when we touched on LeBron, it was at the very end. This is my top 5 all time. Jordan, Kobe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, LeBron James. That's my top five. And I barely, just barely, by the hair on his chinny chin, got him ahead of Shaquille O'Neal. Just barely. Because in my opinion, Shaquille was probably the most dominant big man ever.
I think Kareem is, don't get me wrong, he's an all-time great. He's definitely top 10. I don't have him in my top 5 because I think Magic got him his rings. He only had one without Magic. Magic got the rest. So to me, if you got Kareem and Magic in your top 5, to me, nah, you got to take one out because to me, Magic got Kareem's. I don't think Kareem got Magic's. So that's just me. 79 ring, Kareem didn't even play in the finals. So, he got hurt the last 2 games. That was Magic. Magic was the finals MVP. Magic was finals MVP, all of them, that him and Kareem was on the same team. So to me, Magic carried Kareem on those 5 titles. That's just me. Same thing when you go Kobe and Shaq. First 3, that's Shaq.
That's not. It's not. See, that's what I'm saying. So you boiling it down to who's the finals MVP or maybe who led in scoring. But it's not that simple because Shaq don't win those 3 championships without Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Magic don't win 5 NBA championships without Kareem. Like it just don't work like that, dog.
Well, he won like that. And he went to what 2 without him. So I ain't gonna say all that. But my point of it is that Michael wouldn't have won it without Scotty. We all know that. So I mean, Isaiah wouldn't have won it without Joe Dumars.
Okay, so why you trying to diminish the importance of Kareem and Kobe?
I'm not diminishing Kobe at all. I think Kobe.
Yes, you are. You sitting up acting like Shaq carried him to 3 championships. That's not the facts.
MVP for 3 straight championships. The boy
He's the most dominant big man of all time. I just said that. But Kobe Bryant is the one who closed those games out because Shaquille O'Neal couldn't touch the ball in the 4th quarter.
Here's my point. If LeBron James would have played with the most dominant player of all time or the leading scorer of NBA history of all times, and Kareem, who you got as the best center of all time, I wonder how many more of those 10 finals he went to, he would have won. And
in that era, I don't.
And let's put Phil Jackson and Pat Riley as his head coach.
He would have won on them 5. Because as soon as they had a 3-game losing streak, he'd have been going to the GM saying they need to go. Or when they told him that he got to play within a structured offense and he got to abide by the rules of that offense, he would have wanted them fired.
That boy got basketball IQ through the wazoo. He loves the structured offense. It's the fact that he don't have a Hall of Fame coach to give him one. Never did.
Man, these ain't nothing but a bunch of weak excuses. Everybody else is to blame. Everybody else is to blame for LeBron's struggles, except for LeBron. And every time they lose, it's all his teammates' fault. It's his coach fault. It's the GM fault. It's everybody else's fault except for LeBron, bro.
And for us, also with Kareem, and I had this debate with my dad because my dad couldn't answer it. Tell me what great center Kareem beat to win a championship. And don't tell me Robert Parrish. Don't give me Robert Parrish.
Don't give you Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish, come on.
Because that's who they was facing in the finals almost every year was Boston.
15th all-time probably center.
Who was they facing during that era in the finals?
Hold on, that's the point. Moses Malone, every time he plays a top center in the finals or in a conference championship, he lost. Moses Malone beat him twice. Bill Walton beat him twice, really, because if you really want to count 86, you know what I'm saying? Even though Akeem beat him in 86, so he didn't have to face Bill Walton in the finals. But every time he faced a Hall of Fame top 10 center, he lost.
Was those dudes Hall of Fame top 10 centers at the time that they beat him?
Yeah, Moses Malone was 4-4-4. That was towards the end of his career, and he dominated Kareem. In 81 with the Rockets and 82 with Philadelphia. 83.
Yeah, not with the Rockets. Akeem didn't come into the league until I think 84, right?
Who?
Dream.
No. I'm talking about Moses dominated him in 81.
Oh, okay.
Robin got to the finals because they beat the Lakers.
I know.
Moses Malone dominated Kareem.
Okay,
Don't look,
that's one matchup, bro.
that's the point. If you
Just
go
like
look,
Hakeem dominated Shaq. That don't mean that Shaq ain't ahead of Hakeem on the all-time list.
I don't have him above my all time. I don't personally. I personally don't get me wrong. Shaq is the most dominant center, but I don't have him the best because I rate best different. I don't go based off of just the stats and championship. I do the eye test for it. If they play one-on-one with each other, Shaq would tell you, even when they was going to play with the Pepsi thing, Akeem, to me, Akeem, if Akeem and Kareem would have faced each other in their primes, I do not see Kareem stopping what Akeem Olajuwon did to David Robinson, or what he did to Patrick Ewing, and what he did to the young Shaq. Those moves, when Akeem backed up to the three-point line and did a crossover, went baseline, Kareem is not stopping that Akeem Olajuwon. No,
I'm not gonna say that he gonna stop him, but he presents a different problem than Patrick Ewing and them because he was just taller. He was longer than them.
So was Mark Eaton. So was Luke Bowe. He played against tall centers and dominated.
Yeah, but those dudes wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, bro. Like is Kareem had the height, the length, the footwork, the skill set. I'm not saying that he gonna stop Akeem, but he's definitely gonna make it tougher on Akeem than Akeem going against Patrick Ewing.
Go look at the '86 finals. In the West Conference Finals, Akeem Olajuwon was blowing. He had better numbers than Kareem. If you watch the highlights,
it wasn't prime Olajuwon neither. That was Olajuwon, super young, and by that time Kareem was much older.
He's older, but he's still in his prime. He's only 32. 86.
And how old was Dream?
Exactly.
24.
Exactly. So he would have faced the 32-year-old or the 30-year-old Olajuwon, and he couldn't handle the 24. No, it was only 22-year-old Olajuwon. That would have been problem.
So what I'm saying is get a Kareem at 24 facing Olajuwon at 22. That's a completely different matchup.
That's what Kareem.
He got Kareem towards the end of his career, bro.
Right, Kareem. If Olajuwon would have did just like he did every center, pull him away from the basket and blow past him. Shaquille O'Neal made a good point. David Robinson is the quickest center of all time. Feet work, just quick. He is extremely quick. First step and on the defense. And he said Akeem Olajuwon made him look slow. And if David Robinson is quicker than Kareem and he pulled him away from the basket, that's all Olajuwon would have did. Kareem, come out here with me, and I'm going to blow past you. And that's all he had. And on the defensive end, Olajuwon was stronger than Kareem. Kareem was light. He had the sky hook. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to stop. But Kareem never had to do that against stronger, bigger centers. Shaq would have, like he said, I would have pushed Kareem out. And when he tried to do the hook, give him a little bow on that hip, and he would have threw him off. That's what Olajuwon used to do to him, and the younger Olajuwon. Rough him up a little bit. Kareem, don't get me wrong, is great. I'm not knocking Kareem. I just think one-on-one.
So you got Olajuwon ahead of Kareem on your all-time list?
I do, just because of, like, don't get me wrong, Kareem got 5 titles, and he's the all-time leading scorer. But a lot of that, to me, is longevity and magic. That's just me, personally. And yes, he had a nasty sky hook. I just think Kareem, if Olajuwon was in the center era, he faced David, Patrick, young Shaquille, Alonzo Mourning, Mark Eaton. I mean, he caught all of them.
Mutombo, yeah. I'm listen. When you talk about skill set, style of play, that type of thing, then to me, yes, Olajuwon is the best all time for a big man because he basically had no weaknesses as a big man. But at the end of the day, like, I do have to take into consideration impact, points, championships, finals appearances. Like, I have to take that in advance. It's not everything, but it has to be a piece of it. And being that, I didn't get to see, or we didn't get to see Olajuwon first Shaquille in his prime. Like, he caught Shaq early, and he schooled Shaq, but he didn't catch Shaq in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? He didn't catch him when he finally, got on when they went on that run and he got his big boy strength and he added something to his game. He didn't catch Kareem in his prime. It was the back end of it may have been the back end of Kareem's prime, but it wasn't in the middle, smack dab in the middle of his prime. So I can put him above everybody else from his era. I'm talking about Elijah Warren. I can put him ahead of everybody else in his era. But Shaquille, who came after him, and Kareem, who came before him, I can't put him above them on the all-time list.
Who do you think was better in their prime, Moses or Kareem or Elijah? What I mean, Moses or Elijah in their prime?
In their prime, Moses was better overall to me. I think Elijah Warren had a better skill set overall.
You
Same thing.
Higher than Elijah Wood on your all-time centers.
Huh?
You got Moses Malone higher on your all-time center list
than Dream?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. So in their prime, do you think Moses was better than Dream in their prime?
Both of them in their prime?
Yeah, both of them in their prime. Who you think is better?
That's tough. I'll give a slight nod to Dream. I'll give a slight nod to Dream.
Don't get me wrong, I love Moses Malone, but he ain't the Akeem Olajuwon.
But Moses Malone was a monster, dog.
I'm not disrespecting, but all right. The reason why I say that is Moses, and I had this argument. You go back and look at the finals. Moses dominated Kareem, and Kareem was in his prime, and Moses was in his prime, and Moses dominated him both times. And if Moses,
that's a matchup. That's just a matchup. And Moses was bigger than Elijah Warren.
Yes,
he was like heavier, bulkier.
Same game. The only thing is Elijah Warren was quicker first step and had a little bit better outside jumper. But outside of that, and a better defender. Moses, he taught him Elijah's game. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same game. So when you go back and look at it, Moses was doing that to Kareem. I can imagine what Elijah would have done in that exact same situation. But, that's a different debate. We went off topic. Back to LeBron, the same thing you just used with Kareem. If you're going to do that, finals appearances, titles that you gave to Kareem, you can't give it to LeBron?
No, LeBron gets credit for, I'm going to say, I give him full credit for 3 of his championships. I'm not counting the bubble ring. I'm not counting the COVID year. You know what I'm saying? So my only issue for LeBron, and people will look at this or listen to me and think that I'm a LeBron hater or that I hate LeBron. And that's not the case. I do think I don't like the way he never has to take any blame for his failures. The only blame or the only thing that they want to say is a blemish for LeBron is the Mavericks series. You know what I'm saying? That's the only one. But getting swept out by Golden State ain't held against him. Losing in 5 to Golden State ain't held against him. Losing to San Antonio in playoff blowout fashion, like historically the largest margin of defeat, for any team in the finals. That's on his resume, but he don't take no blame for it. And every single time that he fails, he ain't had no help. It was the guys around him. It was the coach. It was always somebody else. Now, the guys around you are good enough to help you get to the finals, but the fact that you can't pull it out is their fault. The team is good enough for you to be the number 1, number 2 seed in the East. But when you can't get past Detroit, when you can't get past Boston, it's everybody else's fault. It ain't never his fault. You know what I'm saying? You come in the first year with the Lakers. You have your injury, and then when you come back, you start talking reckless. Oh, it's go time. Oh, we finna show out, or this, that, and the other. You don't even make the playoffs. It's everybody else's fault. You get eliminated in the first round against Phoenix with a hobble Chris Paul. It's never his fault, my boy. And then every time his team struggles in the first half, He don't have no fight in him. It ain't no dog in him. It ain't no leader in him. It's always trade these dudes away or I'm finna bounce. Like, that's his MO. I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen other superstars, other great players go through adversity. They teams face adversity in the first half. They not playing as great. And they remedy ain't to go to the GM and tell them that they want everybody traded, that they need another superstar. You know what I'm saying? They found a way to push through it to the other side to make sure that that team got better and competed for a championship. You don't see that with LeBron, and you never have outside of, again, Miami. And that was because Pat Riley wasn't having it.
First of all, you mentioned the teams versus Detroit and the teams versus Boston and not getting over the hump. Detroit had 3 Hall of Famers, and he had to score 26 points in a row in the fourth quarter to eliminate the defending champs. Then he couldn't get past Boston, who had 3 Hall of Famers, all three of them top 75 players. And he had who on his squad? So you're talking about guys, those teams were his worst roster teams. When he got swept by Golden State, when he got swept by the Spurs, because when he got swept by Golden State, his whole team was hurt, and he was going against a KD and Steph Curry, Thompson, and Green team. No superstar.
Right, but James Harden can push that same team to 7.
No. He had Chris Paul and a way better roster. So
He did not have a way better roster. Cut the cap, fam. Cut the cap. Cut the cap. He did have Chris.
Anderson Varejao as his center. Come on, man. Tristan Thompson.
That's right. He the one who had Varejao get traded back over there to Cleveland. That was him.
Right, as a role player.
It was him. It was him who had a lot of them dudes traded to Cleveland.
Right, and he
that
got
same year.
He got
and so these are guys you wanted. These are guys that you asked the front office to bring you because you had history with them. You knew them, whatever. So you want them to get traded there. Then when they get traded there and you get swept out, now your fans, your girlfriends all over the world wants to make excuses about how you ain't have no help. And it's the same thing this year. Everybody want to drag Russell Westbrook, and they want to drag AD, and they want to drag Carmelo Anthony. They want to drag the Lakers team. He ain't got no help. He put this roster together.
Right, Kenfo, you're right. But he took all those squads to 10 straight finals appearances. And the teams you just named were all-time great teams that had 2 to 3 superstars with 2 to 3 Hall of Famers to beat him.
First of all, he didn't go to 10 straight NBA finals. Like, we need to stop that.
Sorry, 9.
He didn't?
Yeah, he went to 9.
Yeah, in the Eastern Conference. Okay.
Oh, now it's the Eastern Conference. Regardless of it, he still went. And he lost.
And plus, that's after he put together a super team.
Right. Okay.
Most talented team in the entire conference.
Right.
Okay. So,
and that's the reason why the Dallas is the blemish. Because after that, the teams he lost to better teams. He lost to an all-time great Spurs franchise. He lost to a great Golden State and the Boston Celtics. And defending champ Detroit Pistons. You talking about all-time great teams. That Michael Jordan.
Cut the cap, man.
Okay.
They not all-time great team. When you beat the Spurs, they was an old over the hill gang team that you beat. You beat a very young and green OKC team. Them the 2 teams that you beat while you was in Miami.
Right, that's
and then after you beat the Spurs came back and not only beat you, they blew you out the water by an all-time margin because they knew they was the better team. Ray Allen saved you in that series with that 3 in the corner. Like, cut the cap. Kyrie saved them in against Golden State when he hit the dagger. Cut the cap, man.
And stop that, because Steve Kerr saved Michael Jordan. You can do that to every great.
Oh my!
Robert Horry saved the Lakers. The shot against Portland. You know what I'm saying? You can do that to everybody. The shot against Sacramento, if Robert Ory misses, Sacramento Kings go to the finals. So you can say that on every great team. It happens. You get lucky. That's part of winning championships. But the teams outside of Miami that LeBron was on, he lost to great teams.
Yeah, but they not all time. He lost to good team. That Pistons team was not an all-time great team. It wasn't close to one. The Boston Celtics won one championship with that big three being together. They wasn't an all-time great team.
I'm not all okay. The Spurs definitely is, and the Warriors
definitely the hill.
What?
They was old. Tim Duncan was a shell of himself. Same thing with Tony and Manu, bro. They wasn't in their prime no more.
Who you know who was? Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, so you got one young gun with a bunch of old dudes, and that's who you get blown out to. Cut the cap.
That's a way better roster.
He had and
you got Greg Popovich as their head coach. Come on, man.
Beating the Spurs was a good win. It was a good win for him. They was a good team. But you're not facing you wasn't facing the Spurs with Tim Duncan at 28 years old and Tony Parker at 27. Like you didn't face them then. Tim Duncan was clearly on his back nine.
Did Kobe
and the rest of that team?
Did Kobe and Shaq play Reggie Miller in his prime? Did they play Jason Kidd in his prime? No. They played him over the hill. The Indiana Pacers, really?
But wasn't it Kobe that beat the same team that LeBron couldn't beat, where he had to run out and go join and make the super team, the Avengers? Because it was Kobe that beat KD, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, beat them in back-to-back finals, right?
That Lakers team and that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Really? You want to compare the rosters?
Yes. I compare the roster. What I'm telling you is that he lost to Boston and he tucked tail and ran. Kobe faced them in back-to-back years. He lost the first time, backdoored and avenged it the second time. You know what I'm saying? Kobe didn't decide that after he lost Boston, he needed to tuck tail and run. He didn't decide after he lost to Boston that he needed another superstar on the team. No. He rallied his troops, say, we coming back. They went back and they won.
Yes, he got Paul Gasol, Ron Artest, got a whole load of roster.
The first time they lost. Kobe didn't have that same squad when he ran Rudy T off. He didn't have that same Lakers squad then. He didn't rally them when he fired Rudy T. He fired Rudy T. He didn't fire Rudy T. Yes, he did. He got Rudy T to retire. He ain't get Rudy T to retire, man. Cut that. Go get it. Cut that. That was Jeannie Buss and Phil Jackson behind the scenes. That wasn't Rudy T. Same Davis. He didn't rally them troops and get them to the finals. No, it's because he's in La La Land and he got free agents that want to come to LA and they all came to join forces with Kobe. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. Jerry West made that trade for Pau Gasol. And to sit up and act like Pau Gasol was some great player. He wasn't no Hall of Fame player, my G. Man, he ain't no Hall of Famer. He wasn't a great player. He was a good player, yes. He wasn't great at all. He was better than any player LeBron had on that first Cleveland squad. The first Cleveland squad. Which one? Because people was coming in and out every single year. It don't matter until he got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Any other Cleveland Cavaliers squad, Paul Gasol and Ron Artest and Ron. That's what you LeBron fans do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to trash everybody else that the man played with. It's always somebody else's fault. It ain't never his fault. It's always on somebody else. You don't want to the Pistons who beat LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. That whole squad, Detroit Pistons beat them, but he don't get no blemish for that. Who don't? Kobe. No, he don't get a blemish for it. Number one, I mean, let's be clear. Y'all don't even give him credit for them getting to the finals, remember? Shaq carried them there. Number one. Number two, the Lakers did mess up with bringing in those guys, to try and so that they could try and win a championship. But Kobe didn't have the Lakers trade for Karl Malone and Gary Payton, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying, to try and
no,
form those super team or
he don't
nothing like that.
the Steve Nash and Dwight Howard situation either, huh?
Say what?
He ain't no bad look on it for the Dwight Howard and Steve Nash experiment.
No, that goes on Mike D'Antoni.
Oh, it just skips. It skips the superstar and goes to the head coach.
Well, ain't that what you blame LeBron's losses for? Cause he ain't played with a Hall of Fame coach. He ain't played for a great coach. So now so the coaches get blamed in LeBron's situation, but they don't get blamed for Kobe's situation.
No.
The fact that you had those players, right? And Mike D'Antoni refused to change his system to suit the best player on that team. And he just decided we gonna do our running gun system. Dude wouldn't even hardly play. Wouldn't
Why
even
didn't
really.
the situation
He
flip
wouldn't
it?
even. He wouldn't even really abide by Dwight Howard all that much. And the fact that Dwight Howard was trash and Kobe Bryant saw that the dude didn't really want to play. And he trying to win championships. This dude coming here wants to play games and wants to fart on people and grab people. Man, come on, man. We ain't finna get into having Dwight Howard on the team with Kobe.
Oh man, see, but he didn't get the best out of the White. The White just come to Houston, become 10 times better.
Who's been able to get the best out of Dwight?
That was a great leader, though.
Who's been able to get the best out of Dwight?
So it seemed like to me in that case, James Harden got more out of Dwight than Kobe. So James is a better leader than Kobe.
How is that? Well, dog, Kobe got hurt.
Oh, here you go. See,
he did not. So did he not tear his Achilles? Okay,
that was gone, man. That was way after you gone.
So let's no, it wasn't. He got hurt. He got hurt because they made the playoffs. I think that second year they made the playoffs with Dwight and them on, and Steve Nash could never play. He stayed hurt with his back problem. So you got Kobe. You basically just got Kobe and Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard didn't even want to run pick and rolls no more because he wanted post touches. Man, get out of here with that, bringing up Dwight Howard.
Run pick and rolls his whole time. Stop.
That's the whole reason why he ended up leaving Houston, because they told him they wanted him to run pick and rolls, and he wanted post touches. And they say, bro, we're not giving you the ball in the post. You're not Shaq. You ain't Elijah Warren. You ain't good enough to get the ball down in the post.
Next topic.
Football news, man. The report is Aaron Rodgers wants $50 million a year to stay in Green Bay. What's your thoughts, man? Should they pay him? Should they let him go?
Aaron, stop it. Aaron, don't get me wrong, great quarterback. Definitely top 10. 50 million. Tom Brady not worth 50 million right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but Tom Brady about 44. I'm talking about Aaron, back-to-back MVP winner.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, 37, 38 for one, he old. And then secondly, dog, you just complain about them not giving you enough talent to get you over the top, bringing you some receivers. He got mad a couple years ago when they didn't trade for Will Fuller and all that. But then you want $50 million. How in the world under the cap structure are they going to be able to bring any talent in, re-sign Devontae Parker and all that when you getting $50 million?
Devontae Adams.
When he getting $50 million. He need to stop it. What you're pretty much saying is, I'm gone, Green Bay, because I know you ain't going to pay me that money. So, it makes it like a save-face PR move or something.
So here's my question then. Let's say, because he went on Pat McAfee, I believe, and said that it was categorically false. He didn't ask for $50 million. So let's say, now I do believe that his agent told him he wanted around $50 million, but you see how that looks, how that sounds. So let's say he would settle in for 48. Pat Mahomes making 45. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Are you paying him more than Pat Mahomes, you going 47, 48 million.
No, no. I'm gonna be honest. He shouldn't even get 39.
Come on, Dre, cut the cap. Dak Prescott making $40 million. You can Josh Allen making 43.
Right,
You can't sit up and say that he ain't supposed to make. He supposed to make less
right.
than them.
They doing it because that's their fat contract. That's their prime contract. You know what I'm saying? That's their 28, 29-year-old contract. He's 37. Man, you can't even run like you used to no more. You can't scramble like you can still throw the rock. You can still lead a team. You got a new offense. You can run an offense. Yes, he's still a great quarterback. He's definitely probably still top 5 right now. I get it. But these guys are in their prime years. You not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's
So
still playing at the highest level. He didn't won
he still got
back-to-back
MVP.
MVPs.
I agree. I mean, to me, if I'm coming to them, I'm saying, hey, man, we're going to give you 38, 39 million. You get, top 3, top 4. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
Pay.
you don't want. So basically, you don't want him because it's no way he would take that. He's not taking less than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has won one playoff game in his career. He's not taking less than Dak Prescott. Period.
Okay, here's my question then. If he's not in Green Bay, who's going to pay him that? Who's going to pay him that money on a contender, a contending team that's going to actually be better than Green Bay if he's on that squad? Is the 49ers going to pay him?
I think a team like Tennessee, a team like Denver, I believe both of those teams would find a way to pay him. Now the salary cap is supposed to explode next year. The year after that, it's supposed to go way up. So they can push it back. Maybe give him in the first year 35, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But push it, push the high um, numbers that's gonna hit the salary cap later on down in the years, and they would be legitimate contenders. But then here's the thing that I gotta ask: if you're Aaron Rodgers, do you want to go to the AFC with Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow? Or do you want to stay in the NFC? Well, who you got? Russell Wilson,
Maybe.
Matthew Stafford, Stat Padford,
Kyler Murray, maybe.
maybe Kyler Murray. Like who you really facing? That's worrying you. Ain't no Drew Brees, ain't no Tom Brady. You don't got no veteran
Yeah,
that's a proven
you
winner.
got that.
You got Dak. You got Kirk Cousins. You know. I mean, it's some solid quarterbacks, but again, so what you doing? And so I'm just curious as to what the Green Bay Packers move would be because from what I understand, coming into the offseason, they are $40 million over the salary cap.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
why he was talking about he didn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team because that's a lot of fat that has to get cut off the bone just for you to get under the salary cap. So what is the remedy? Like what if you advising Aaron Rodgers, what are you telling him to do?
Go to Tampa Bay. But you're going to take a pay cut. If I'm his agent, go get 39 million and play in Tampa with Goodwin and Evans. That they have a good squad. You know
Goodwin
what
is
I'm
a
saying?
free agent, I think.
Who?
Godwin. Chris
Godwin.
Godwin. I think he's a free agent.
Okay. Well, see, same thing as Adams. So if you take a little 39, they could probably re-sign Godwin. I don't know their cap situation and all that. I don't know what with the Bucks. Or if Godwin's gone, you still got Evans. They can go sign another one. They can't sign. If they can't sign Godwin, they can't sign Adams in Tampa Bay. But they can go get you another decent, receiver out there to go with Evans. You got a good coach. You got a good situation. Go, son, go live in the sun and have a chance still to go to the Super Bowl every year in a
Bro,
weak division. In a
yeah,
weak division.
We got to be realistic. I just told you Aaron Rodgers ain't taking 38 million, 39 million, bro. He's
Okay,
not taking less than Dak Prescott,
then
period.
you're right. He's in a situation where, well, how much Wilson gets paid?
Russell
40, no,
Wilson,
30, 35, 36.
yeah, he's somewhere now. Between 35 and 38 million.
Well, he can't go to. Could y'all play him 40?
Huh?
Could the 49ers play him 40?
Could we pay him 40?
Y'all got a lot of rookie deals. Y'all don't got no fat contracts, though, right?
Trent Williams just signed a mega contract. George Kittle then already got paid. Fred Warner then got paid.
You still ain't no big cap space. You ain't got no big receivers getting paid yet. How many more years did Debo
Finna
get
have to
paid?
pay. Debo got to get paid this offseason. He finna go into the final year of his contract. 22, 23 season.
You can give him his money, but you can structure where you get it, like you said, when that free agent money, that cap money go up. You can structure that. But the reason why I say that, if you say, hey, you can come home to your hometown.
Yeah, not because that's the next topic. That's the next topic we gonna jump on. And I can tell you right now, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. So you gotta go somewhere.
I mean, but what I'm saying is there might be a team that's or close on the bubble of contending that they're just a quarterback away. That I see that maybe 40, 41, 42. I just cannot see him get more than Pat. I can't. And he shouldn't get more than Allen and I know Justin Herbert probably gonna get up there too, but I can't see it, man. Dak, yeah.
Pittsburgh.
I forgot about that. I forgot Tomlin.
And he had some high praise for Mike Tomlin last year.
Yeah. I don't know that cap situation. I don't know how much Big Ben got. How much was Big Ben getting? He was
Around
probably
30. Yeah, it was low 30s.
Low 30s. If they can squeeze another 10 mil, I'll give him 40. I'm not giving him 50, man.
I wouldn't give him 50, but I think he gonna want more than Pat Mahomes.
Come on, man. That's crazy, man. Pat is the best right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he was a young
Patrick Mahomes overrated?
Huh?
Is Patrick Mahomes overrated?
No. I think like everybody said, teams caught up to Andy Reid in that offensive system, and they didn't add and adjust in time. I think they did towards the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But the talent level, some of these teams, and they're getting a grasp hold of Andy Reid and what's the name system. You know what I'm saying? And I think like they said, what was the guy came on ESPN? I forgot the wide receiver. Not Tyreek Hill, but the other one. Hardman. Nicole McHarden, whatever his name is on the Chiefs.
Yeah, Nicole Hardman.
Yeah, he was on First Take, and they interviewed him, and he said during the season, teams were on them, and they had to make a lot of adjustments throughout the season to their system a little bit, tweak it to throw teams off because teams was on it. And I think that was their only issue. I think teams are finally getting a grasp of what they're trying to do with every team, and they start seeing stuff that they normally didn't see.
But see, what I blamed early on in the season was Patrick Mahomes trying to get the home run ball every time and not taking what the defense was giving him. You know, so he was forcing a lot of passes deep down the field where you have dudes wide open as a check down underneath, and he wouldn't take it. And the other adjustment that I saw, so that was an adjustment where he started taking his check down, started being, more careful with the ball, and then he started to use his legs a little bit more, to extend plays, pick up first downs, that type of thing. Those are the only real adjustments that I personally saw. The reason why I asked that question, I don't believe that he's overrated. Outside of, the people who's on extreme calling him the Michael Jordan, of football, where dude has made 4 consecutive AFC championship games, but you got 1 Super Bowl to account for it. You know what I'm saying? You won a Super Bowl, you lost a Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl that you lost, you didn't even score a touchdown. And the Super Bowl that you won for 3.5 quarters, almost 3.5 quarters, like you wasn't looking good. You had threw 2 interceptions. I think you maybe had one touchdown at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really looking all that good.
Yeah,
You
but
got eliminated in the championship game the other 2 times. So to call him the Michael Jordan, where you got one ring, I ain't gonna go that far, but I don't believe he's overrated.
what
Um,
reason I say that is it's the first 5, 6 years of his career. You know what I'm saying? Michael had similar first 5 and 6 years. Boy haven't got to his prime yet. You know what I'm saying? It's sick what he's accomplished in a very short period of time. And he ain't even 30. So that's the only reason why I can understand why they saying Michael Jordan. Has he reached it? No. Is he overrated? No, because that playoff game in Buffalo, I mean, he still showed the boys. He's to me, he's still the man.
yeah,
At
but what
quarterback.
about the next playoff game against the rookie, against essentially a rookie in Burrow?
I truly think they got out coached. In the first 3 quarters, he lit it up. In
The
the
first
second
two
half,
quarters. You mean the first two quarters?
yeah, you're right. In the second half, they made adjustments on that system. That coach on the Cincinnati Bengals, you tip his hat, the defensive coordinator, you tip his hat. He made some adjustments to stop them. I don't think they stopped Patrick. I think they stopped the system. They stopped the offense. Patrick didn't play bad. You know what I'm saying? But to me, he's still, yeah, he's still that man. I mean, there's not too many quarterbacks right now I see that's better than him. Yeah, there's some guys closing the gap. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's overrated. No, I mean what he's done these first 5, 6 years of his career is better than any other quarterback outside of probably Tom Brady. You know, and Tom Brady
I
just
agree.
won Super Bowls based off of the defense leading them early on. Patrick is doing his thing on the offense with lack
Yeah.
of defense, and he lost that Super Bowl with it. I mean, his offensive line was terrible because they was backups because his whole offensive line was injured. So,
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I don't think he's overrated. I just want to get your take on it. You know what I'm saying? I have heard some people say that he's overrated. I don't agree with that. Um, what he has done, especially early in his career, is remarkable. I don't know that we've seen a quarterback have this amount of success that early in a career. Because year one of him starting threw 50 touchdowns, won the MVP, and they got to the AFC Championship game. So, you know what I'm saying? Whether he won it or lost it, like you got to tip your cap to him for that. So, piggybacking off what you had brought up about Aaron Rodgers to San Francisco, the talk now has transitioned to Trey Lance ain't ready. Trey Lance ain't ready. They got a Super Bowl caliber team. They got a Super Bowl caliber roster. This guy ain't ready. If he was ready, he would have, started over Jimmy G and that type of thing. So the coaches don't trust them. So we got to bring in Tom Brady. They need to go after Tom Brady, who retired. They need to, do whatever they can to get Aaron Rodgers. These are the things that they need to do because the young boy ain't ready. What say you?
what's the question? What do I
Do
say
you
about
think the 49ers need to go after one of them
it?
veteran quarterbacks for this team, or do they need to stick with the rookie?
If I mean, I don't know the reports. I haven't followed the 49ers. If Trey Lance, it's too so early in the offseason to me though. It's only February. How can you say that you ain't had OTAs and he
Oh,
probably
oh, oh, this
stepped
the
in
other.
and
I'm
make
sorry. I'm sorry. So the other thing that they saying is San Francisco needs to keep Jimmy. If you ain't gonna get one of those other two guys, Jimmy got one more year left on his contract with San Francisco. You need to bring Jimmy back, keep Jimmy, and let them compete for the starting job going into next year. So do they keep Jimmy, get one of the other high quality veterans, or start, Trey Lance era?
Well, that's a hard one, man. That's a lot on that question because y'all GM has done a great job building that roster, building that team, building the type of players that Kyle Shanahan wants and needs, and he's done a fantastic job. If Trey Lance is not ready, to me, that's the first ding on that GM or Shanahan, whoever made the call to trade those picks to get Lance. Because
No, it ain't. No,
to
it
me,
ain't.
it
They
is.
drafted Solomon Thomas when you had Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Jackson in that same draft.
Oh,
You
okay.
didn't
Well,
have no
I
quarterback.
didn't
That was
know
their
that.
very first draft.
Okay, okay.
That's the
I didn't know
blitz.
I didn't know about that. You might be right there. Okay. You know your squad better than me. So yeah. Well, that's a big one.
If I ain't mistaken, Lamar Jackson was in that draft.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big
You know what
one.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was
Okay,
Josh
well,
Allen in that draft?
who?
Nah, he wasn't in that draft. He wasn't in that draft.
No, Patrick Mahomes went in that draft.
Patrick Mahomes was in the same draft. We took Solomon Thomas at number 4.
Y'all passed Patrick and Deshaun Watson?
Yes, and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson got drafted at the back end of that first round. But Mitchell Trubisky was the first quarterback. He got drafted at number 3. Remember, we moved back from number 3 to the number 4 pick.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson was the following draft.
Damn. The following draft.
Yeah, Lamar ain't got paid yet, remember?
I
Lamar, know. Yeah, they do first. They got their money already.
Okay. So Lamar due up this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so he came out in the Josh Allen draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, that's still a
Yeah, that's the blemish. That's the first blemish right there. The very first draft we had.
It's number 2. Well, I don't know. I don't know your whole situation. Just based off of what I can think of, it seems like this might be number 2 now. And that hurts if he's
but
not.
Is it though? Is it? Hold up. So if Trey Lance, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If Trey Lance, first of all, what does not ready mean overall? So that's the question for me and a lot of 49er fans when the national media is saying Trey ain't ready, he ain't ready, the kid ain't ready. Like, ready to do what exactly? Are you talking about he's not ready to take over as the starter of the team? Do you think he's not ready to lead them to the playoffs because they got to the NFC Championship game this year? I mean, he ain't ready to take them back to the Super Bowl. What exactly are you saying he's not ready for? First of all, but let's say the kid ain't ready. Whatever that encompasses. Does that automatically put a blemish on Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch?
I don't know who made the call because
Kyle Shanahan made it. It's no way they picked the quarterback that he didn't say this the guy I want.
So it has to be because next year's draft is loaded. This one here is not. It sucks at quarterback. Next year's draft is loaded. And if he ain't ready now, and y'all can go with Jimmy G or another quarterback this year, and could have saved all these picks I had and got a quarterback next year in a quarterback heavy draft, then to me, that's would have been a better move. So to me, it would be a blemish unless, say, next year he's ready and he has a great career going forward. But to answer your question, I can't see y'all going back with the exact same squad and having because the reason why I say that, y'all barely got into the playoffs. And yes, don't get me wrong, y'all finally got healthy, y'all made a nice little run in the playoffs. I just don't see that team automatically becoming a favorite or a dangerous squad. And well, it could be. The NFC is kind of weak now, but y'all in the best division in football at that though. I don't see returning with Jimmy equal automatic Super Bowl. It still might be an option, but I would definitely, of course, kick the tires with Tom because I think Tom is he still you can still get Tom. I still think somebody can convince Tom to come out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? And I know he could probably look at that 49er team and say, boy, Kyle Shanahan as my offensive coordinator with that run game and Debo and Kittles is like another Gronk. You know, that defense is back to his hometown and the team he grew up. What better way to retire than at home? and winning on the Super Bowl team.
Hey,
And
hey,
I
you
get him.
not you not. I'm not finna allow you to like try and talk me into, this. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I peep what you're doing. You try to get me excited for some pie in the sky with Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? And push the kid back. So I'm not falling for it.
We used to tease you throughout the years about being a low key, Patriot lover. You know what I'm saying? For all the years you was just, low key just cheering for the Patriots. You know, why not? You be excited that Tom Brady was your quarterback. Not just because he's the GOAT, but you've been a lover of Tom Brady for quite some time now.
I have
So
been a Tom Brady fan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna deny it. I've been a Tom Brady fan,
just
but
on that bed it goes.
I'm
You
not I'm not entertaining you and your nonsense that you're trying to do right now. I'm not entertaining it. I'm not finna go down that rabbit hole with you.
you
So
already know there'll be a Tom Brady jersey on that wall back there right now. You probably be the first Niner fan to buy it online.
I'm not going down there with you. So again, for me, it's I don't know what they mean. Um, I feel like he's gonna be ready to take over as the starter.
Yeah,
Now,
I think
now, 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 I'm not gonna go into next season expecting us to get back to where we was or to surpass where we was going into next season because he is gonna essentially be a rookie. It's gonna be the first time that he's gonna take all the first team snaps and that type of thing to be ready and prepared to be the full-time starter. And so with every rookie, every young player, they gonna make mistakes. It's gonna be bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying? And so it's gonna be a growing thing. And so as long as he continues to progress, and improve throughout the year, as a fan, that's all I'm really looking for. It's the long term, not in the short term. So that's why I say I don't know what people are talking about when they say that he's not ready. Is he ready to lead us to a Super Bowl next year? I don't believe so. But I also don't believe that he needs to sit on the bench for a second year because he ain't ready to lead the team to a Super Bowl. Because then going into year three, is from sitting on the bench all year, is he then ready to go to the Super Bowl then? No.
and to me, I think Kyle Shanahan would just have to do like he did RG3 in Washington, who was a young rookie at the time. You know, simplify the playbook just a little bit, not change it. But I mean, he
But this
kind
is
of
the
did it
thing.
here.
This is the thing. According to Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniels and all those guys, they said that by the time we got to training camp, uh dude knew the playbook from front to back. The issue with him that they knew that they needed to work on is his mechanics, his footwork, his throwing motion. You know what I'm saying? Tighten that type of stuff up. And to actually be able to adjust to the speed of the game and understanding you know when you call a slant that you got to first of all drop quicker. You know what I'm saying? Get your 3 steps quicker, speed up that process, and then get the ball out. Whereas with him, he ain't dropping back as quickly as he need to. So then when he look, well, that window ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the release of like a Jimmy G or Aaron Rodgers, where you're about a second off, a half a second off, but your release is so quick where you can still fit it through that window. You know what I'm saying? Because of his throwing mechanics. So those are the things that he need to tighten up. And then it's just gonna be understanding, learning how to read defenses. Because you come from an FCF school, you only played 1 year, like your second year there, you only played one game because of COVID. Then your rookie season, you sit out for vast majority of the year because there's a starter already in place. So it's learning to read defenses and tighten that. But as far as the playbook, they say he know the playbook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that he gonna have to dumb down the playbook or shorten it or adjust it or nothing like that. It's just the kid getting reps. You know what I'm saying? Being on the field and actually going through the fire, making mistakes, going to the sideline, talking to the quarterback's coach, looking at the the pad and understanding, okay, look, this is where you're supposed to go. This is where your eyes are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because based on the defense, what they do pre-snap should let you know, okay, they in cover 1. So this is where I got to go first. They in cover 2. You know what I'm saying? So that can't be my first read. My first read got to be my type. It's those type of things that he going to have to learn. And the only way you really, truly learn that is by being on the field. Otherwise, you didn't waste it. You didn't wasted all those draft picks if they talking about, just sitting them on the bench. Oh, well, let Jimmy come back for 1 more year. Oh, well, he ain't starting none. He ain't take Jimmy job in year 2. He ain't ready. So they need to draft another quarterback. They need to trade. Come on, man. Like, it don't make sense, the stuff that, people be saying, in my opinion.
Especially on mechanics, because mechanics, all this offseason, I know he's going to be with some quarterback guru, sharpening that, it's just February. By May, when they in OTAs, I'm sure there's going to be some progress in his mechanics and his delivery and all that. Come spring, 2 a days, he be all right. He be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, reps is the only way he going to understand and read defenses and adjust to the speed of the game.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So
Tom Brady is real interesting. Tom Brady got to be real, real interesting because you can get it for cheap. Tom Brady on the
But are we? Because truth be told, he retired, but he still got another year in Tampa.
Oh well,
so the first thing he would have to do is to talk Tampa into just releasing him out his contract with no compensation. You know what I'm saying? And so even for him, so let's say Aaron Rodgers say, I'm leaving, I'm finna go to Tampa Bay. He gonna be Tampa Bay quarterback. Well, Brady would have to wait for them to go on ahead and sign Aaron Rodgers, then call them and say, hey man, can y'all go on and release me? Y'all got y'all a quarterback or whatever. I want to come back and play. Can y'all just release me and let me go pick my team? You got to talk them into that and make sure that you have your championship ring on that you just won with them to remind them, look, I just won y'all a ring. Y'all can do this solid. Y'all can do me this solid. You know what I'm saying?
I picked y'all, so help me out now. You know what I'm saying? I chose to go down there and win y'all Super Bowl.
Right. And then after that, then you got to try and get a contract. Is Tom Brady going to go play for the San Francisco 49ers for the veterans minimum? Because the money that the 49ers got around 30 free agents.
Yeah, but they could do something nasty. You got Kettles on one side. When Brady come,
I just told you I'm not going down that hole with you, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear because now you finna start talking about they put Gronk on the other side, all that other crazy stuff. Man, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna do that. So we finna go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. But back to basketball. Number one, what is going on with the Rockets? Why are we not featuring Jalen Green more in his rookie season?
The season, you're right. The last couple games, I like what I see. I like what I see. It lets me know Porter got to go. And they got to get a true point guard because I know what's name's gone probably when the buyout deadline nears, but I love seeing him on that team, orchestrate throwing lobs to Green and getting Greens in his spots, and he's still trying to feed Wood a little bit and Sagoon getting looks. I love what I see now. I just know they're losing on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I know they tanking. So I understand because they want that. They're probably gonna get that nasty point guard in the draft. I can't think his name right now. So
Ivy, Jaden Ivy. Hey, I was telling the third. I was telling my partner. I said I don't really know exactly who I want right now. You know what I'm saying? Between Chet Holmgren,
yeah,
and Jaden Ivy. But you know, and he said you gonna want the point guard. I am leaning towards that point guard, dog. I'm
I
leaning
do.
towards Ivy, man. You know, I feel like we can probably get enough now. Holmgren alongside Shingun going forward. That'll be a nice, a nice little combo, a big man combo. Both of them can run the pick and roll. Both of them
Hello?
shoot from the outside. Ivy's good there.
Hello? Say something? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on.
Okay, I hear you now. I hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. You good
So
now?
yeah, I was saying Porter, Wood, they got to go. They got to go, dog. Because and me and Third been talking now, I can't watch as many Rockets games, as he do, probably as you do, with me being up here. But I done seen some of their games. And the one thing that he's been telling me is like he feel like Porter and Wood got their own little thing going because oftentimes they don't even want to pass Jalen the ball. You know what I'm saying? And I
I like
told
doing
him
good things in the
I
game.
put that on coach. I put that on Silas, man. I put
I
that on
love
Silas.
I love with the what's the name, new point guard when he's in a game with Green. I
Schroeder.
Yeah, I love when Schroeder and Green in that game. I love it. I love how he looks for him, how he sets him up, all that. That's what lets me know Green needs a true point guard next to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know
but I
gone, but
I've been saying that, dog. And I've been trying to explain it to my brother Third, fam. Like this is the future of your franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have the offense centered around him. Not saying he got to take 30 shots a game or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was too many games, especially early in the season, where this dude to have 8 shots. You know what I'm saying? 9 shots for an entire game. And here you got uh Porter Jr. taking 17 shots. Christian Wood taking 17, 18 shots. And this is your number 2 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? So he needed more shot attempts. You need to find ways to get him the ball specifically early. Now he always talks about his strength and how he gets bumped off easily and that type of thing. Okay, strength gonna come. You know what I'm saying? But you can still get him the ball in places that he like it, in the ways that he like. Get him the ball coming downhill. Get him coming off of a screen, off a flat screen or a pick where he's going towards the basket and feed him the ball and let him do something with it then. You know what I'm saying? Feed him the ball coming off of a screen where he pop out behind a 3-point line and let him catch it and shoot it because he can shoot. It's streaky right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a little streaky, but again, that's gonna come, as the season. But you gotta try and let him make mistakes. Understand he gonna, turn the ball over, that type of thing or whatever. But you gotta be able to live through that, especially now that you rebuilding. You gotta be able to live with it. And it's like Silas is almost still trying to win games. Eric Gordon shouldn't be playing as many minutes as he played. Christian Wood shouldn't be playing as many minutes. Like these dudes, need to get less minutes. And the Josh Christophers and the Shinguns and the Christian and the Jalen Greens and the
Martin,
old boy hurt Garuba, he
Martin.
hurt. Yeah, he hurt or whatever. But those young play KJ Martin, those dudes needs to be getting the most run. Let them make their mistakes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You lose, so what? That's a better draft spot. But let them get their run and play together. You know what I'm saying? So that in 2 years, there's some continuity there. There's, a family that when you really finna try and make your push for the playoffs.
Yeah, because when against the Clippers, you can see they ain't that far. I mean, the young players are not that far. They coming together. You know what I'm saying? They starting to get. They getting they. I agree with you. Gordon needs to play way less. You know what I'm saying? To me, you just have him on the squad just as a veteran leader or some. You know, every once in a while, just understand the system and teach a little bit. But I totally agree with you. But when I love what's the name with Green, because it was evident against the Clippers. Like they should have won that game against the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? So it's a major difference when you got a point guard who's looking to get everybody involved than Porter who's trying to just score and make himself look good and he want to be the man. You know what I'm saying? And he probably looking like, man, they got this boy Green, man, and this is my team. And it's a power. Green just trying to get better. Green just trying to hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can definitely tell. And I think this offseason, they definitely need to Wall, Gordon, Porter, Wood. If Wood would have been able to buy into the system of developing and getting good, I would have been cool with him staying.
Right.
But now you can definitely tell that he getting a little big headed. He want to. I think they just jealous of Green.
Yeah, I think that too. I think that they see or feel like he is the future of the franchise. He's the face of the franchise. And it's between two things. Porter, like you said, I think he just wants to, try and get his own shine. You know what I'm saying? Wants to, try and do his own thing to build up, his own, I guess, reputation or whatever, to say, this is my team. I'm the best player on this team or whatever. And Christian Wood, I think he's just worried about a bag. You know what I'm saying? He got him a nice little contract from Houston, but now, he wants a big bag. He wants a long-term investment. He wants $100 million, that type of thing. And so that's why for him, it ain't about being a teammate. It ain't about being better. It ain't about sacrificing his own game, for the betterment of the team or the guys around him. It's just about him trying to, secure a bag. And so I would like both of them traded, Eric Gordon traded, John Wall traded. Get them 4 players off this roster. You know what I'm saying? This coming off season, all 4 of them need to go.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. But, I think next year they're going to start making a push. I ain't talking about no championship, but, 9th, 10th seed, if they make the right move, if they get that point guard.
I ain't gonna. That's why I said in 2 years, because I don't believe even if you get the point guard that we talking about, Jaden Ivey, I don't think as a rookie he gonna come in and this team is just gonna flip the switch. I also don't believe that Silas is gonna be the long-term head coach. I think he's here right now. I don't agree with what he's doing and how he's trying to develop these players. I think, like I said, these young players should be getting far more burn than they've been getting. So I don't see him as the long-term answer. So maybe in 2 years, we go ahead and move on and bring in a Lionel Hollins, a Sam Cassell, one of those types of guys, to really instill real discipline and teamwork to this team. I like Silas's system. I think he got a great system if it's run properly. You know what I'm saying? Because he has player movement, ball movement, it's good principles in the system. It's just he's too mild-mannered a little bit for me. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have a John Lucas on the team who's willing to be the bad cop or whatever, but him when they allow Christian Wood, when they allow Wood and Porter to pull that stunt that they did, and they didn't get rid of them then, you know what I'm saying, and turn around and still give them, big minutes and all that type of stuff, that kind of let me know, that Silas long term, ain't the guy.
Well, I think John Lucas might be the next one. He was a finalist last time.
I hope not. I hope not. And it's not that I got anything against John Lucas. It's just to push the team into the direction that we need to go in. Um, I'd rather somebody with current coaching experience. You know what I'm saying? Um, in today's NBA, who then put together game plans, and that type of thing on how to attack offenses and defenses. I mean, John Lucas is great as a player development coach as far as helping guys develop their game. It's just, and it could be just because I don't know, you know what I'm saying, that I'm kind of knocking it. But these other guys, I know that they, recently have had a hand in this type of stuff. And so I would like for them, a coach like that to come in, still a young team, but with a whole lot of talent where they got a proven track record, and he can say, look, man, this is how we're gonna win games, and not be afraid to instill discipline when dudes is not doing what they supposed to do.
Question: how long do Doc Rivers got in Philly?
2 years. Two
I
years.
don't.
He got this year, and he got next year.
Okay, yeah, I might agree with that. Yeah, because Mike D'Antoni's not coaching.
Yeah, but I don't know if they want to bring in D'Antoni because of Embiid. He don't like big men. He don't like using big men, down in the post and giving them, those types of touches. So I think that would be the knock on him on why he wouldn't get that job.
Right.
If they had more of a stretch, guy at that position at the five, you know what I'm saying, a guy who won't really play with his back to the basket all that much and can run the pick and pops and was athletic, could run the floor, but ain't a really back to the basket type guy, then yeah, that'll definitely be the move for him. But he ain't gonna wanna. I don't think he gonna wanna. I don't think Embiid is gonna want him as coach. You know what I'm saying? Where it's gonna affect his game in that fashion. Because even though he can get up and down, he ain't gonna be wanting to be on no fast break type team. You just running down.
Yeah.
Hey, it then froze up again.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, unlike Dwight Howard actually has a post game, you know what I'm saying, where he could say, no, we ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll run pick and rolls with James, I'll run some pick and pops or whatever, but I need my touches down on the block. You know what I'm saying? That's where I do my work. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be a clash for them. I don't think that. One more thing before we get up out of here, man. And I appreciate you for jumping in with your boy. Or is your team gonna make the playoffs?
Oh,
Your team, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. Your Lakers. Is your Lakers making the playoffs this year?
ain't my squash. No, I don't think. I think they'll get to the play-in game, but I don't think they're gonna win the play-in game.
And that's not gonna be a blemish on LeBron.
Yeah, it will. It will. It will. You got 4 Hall of Famers on that squad, including himself. So I think it'll be
Four.
it'll be a little.
I thought he had 5.
Who the fifth?
LeBron,
Carmelo, him,
AD,
huh?
LeBron, AD,
Carmelo.
Westbrook, Melo,
Yeah.
Dwight Howard.
Oh, I forgot Dwight. Yeah, Dwight is on that squad. Yeah, you're right. There's 5. Yeah. Yeah. It's even though all of them old, except AD, yeah, it's a bad look, because he put that squad together. He just won a championship with AD and Dwight. And I
And
actually
Rondo, who's also a Hall of Famer.
who?
Rondo.
He's still on that squad?
No, I'm saying he was on that squad when they won that championship.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, on the squad now, Carmelo to me has accepted his role as coming off the bench, like 7th, 8th guy off the bench. And I don't think Carmelo's playing bad. I don't blame Carmelo at all. But you knew what Westbrook was. And yes, Westbrook's a good player, but he fits a certain style. You know what I'm saying? And he's a certain type of player. It's kind of like what people are saying about Kyler Murray. You know, what is he going to do if Cliff Kingsbury is not his coach? You know, that has that type of system that fits him. You know, can Kyler Murray go to a different type of offense and flourish as a quarterback? Westbrook, to me, he's straight, just fast pace, pick and roll. You know, he gets his assist, but he only plays one way. He cannot play off the ball at all. So you knew that going in, you know, and I understand he probably wanted somebody that was a dog and it was hungry and athletic at the point guard position that can score points. So I get his mentality behind it, but there was other options. You know what I'm saying? There was other options that I think he could have got a younger version of those type of players. I actually think if they would have pulled the trigger on a John Wall, I don't know why they didn't want to throw the first round pick. But if I think they would have got a John Wall, who's a little bit, he's not as egotistical as Westbrook, and I think was willing to adjust and got a better outside jumper, play a little bit better defense than Westbrook, I think they would have had a better chance of really making some noise. But yeah, it's on LeBron a little bit. You know, it's not a big knock, but it is a nice little knock. You know what I'm saying?
But wait. How it ain't a big knock? You've
been
in LA 4 years. 2 years you didn't make the playoffs. 1 year you got knocked out in the first round, and the other year you won in the COVID year, the bubble season.
He like Stephen A. Smith said, that man won a championship in LA. This situation to me mimics just like I spoke earlier. That's like the Karl Malone, Gary Payton Lakers. To me, it's the same situation. Coming off a championship, you turn around, build this whole squad up, and you know, injuries and old age and all that. To me, it's just, you know what Anthony Davis is going to be. He's going to get hurt. You know how Westbrook is. And the other guys are good players. They just passed their prime. So, but I think it's the Lakers. It's the Lakers and it's LeBron in LA. Next year, half that roster is going to be gone outside of Anthony Davis and LeBron and Tucker. And they're going to rebuild somebody to be some more players in there to be a contender.
All right. Y'all heard it from Laker fan number one. You know what I'm saying? Number one on LeBron's fan list.
Quickly before we end, what was y'all take on this crazy soap opera we have in Houston with the Texans on a coaching search?
Look, man.
I see it in your face already.
It's a crazy situation. So they hired Lovey, and what I ended up hearing is that they gave that high school coach a job as the offensive coordinator or something like that. Is that true?
No, he ain't on the staff.
Okay.
Pep,
okay.
The offensive coordinator.
Okay.
They got a legit offensive coordinator this time.
You got a legit coaching staff, man. You got a black offensive coordinator, a black defensive coordinator, and a black head coach.
Well, the defensive coordinator and head coach is the same person, but
I thought Romeo Crennel was going go to DC.
Lovey's calling the defense. He said he ain't hired a defensive coordinator. Romeo's still in the front office.
I thought Romeo was a defensive assistant or defensive consultant or something like that.
He was a consultant last year. That's all he is. It's just front office position. That's all.
Okay. But then, so that was really my knock. I heard that the dude that got hired on as the OC, so he was the head coach in waiting, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that was gonna be my knock. Houston was pressured into not hiring that dude. I can't think his name for some reason. I keep thinking of Kellen Moore.
Brian Flores. Oh, you talking about McClown?
Yeah. McCown. They was pressured into not hiring him.
The clown, because he a clown.
That man ain't no clown, man. Don't do that man like that. He ain't did nothing to you, man. That dude there did not, he ain't. It ain't his fault. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him. If even if you wasn't necessarily qualified, if the Houston Texans called you right now and wanted to interview you for their head coaching job, and the word was that you was finna get it, you'll take it. And your coaching experience is little league. you'll be
And I
all for,
expect
you'll be all for
every
it.
every fan page and all that to go crazy. I expect it. I would know. I'll be like,
Exactly. And so it wouldn't make you a clown that team wanted to interview you for the job. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna take the money and I buy them closed doors. I'm gonna be like, man, this front office is crazy.
Right. He probably thinking the same thing. He probably thinking the same thing. I ain't never been a coordinator, ain't been a position coach or nothing in the NFL. And these people calling me for an interview, all these people saying I'm finna get hired. Houston is crazy.
And here's the funny part. He wasn't even on the real coaching staff on the high school. He was an unpaid assistant because his son played on the high school team. You know
So
what
he
I'm
wasn't
saying?
the head coach?
No.
Oh wow.
His son was the quarterback. And if your daddy played in the NFL, what head coach gonna say, nah, you can't be on the sideline helping, my players at. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
So
he was
it boiled down to he knew somebody in that front office. You know
no
what
him,
I'm saying?
him and Easterby are close because he was the third string quarterback 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so he's a former player on the team, and he knows Easterby or whatever. You know,
Real close.
yeah. Okay, so again, like y'all want to knock Easterby. I'm not. If listen, if I was uh in the Houston Texans organization and I got some type of pool, how many of my friends and kinfolk do you think I would have working for the Texans? Like let's keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it funky.
But
I mess around and tell him, hey man, my brother third, yeah, he good. He a good strength and conditioning coach. Y'all, yeah, we need to go and bring him in. My cousin Dre, he got some coaching experience. My cousin Dre got some coaching experience. He need to be on the defense. Man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna drag dude for trying to hire some of his partners. You know what I'm saying? You got some pull. You can make these dudes millionaires, or where they go from earning $50,000 a year to $400,000 a year. I got to look out for some of them, bro. I
cheerful,
got to.
cheerful. You're gonna at least call some NFL people and talk to some. And because if you hire all of us, the only credibility on that coaching staff will probably be Jahar. Your defensive coordinator. Lou Grant got the wide receiver coach.
Hey, that may be
Incredible
that,
was
that may be true, but I call NFL people. I hire some NFL people, but I'm hiring some of my partners, and what I'm telling everybody, my family and my homeboys, I'm telling y'all, man, look,
you gonna hire
we gonna be here. So y'all need to learn as much as you can and save your money. Don't go out there and start buying a $400,000 house now. I'm telling you, because when the gig is up, y'all probably gonna be out the door with me. You know what I'm saying? So be a sponge, Dre. I put you in that defensive room, bro. You better you better be a sponge to them NFL coaches. Learn as much as you can. Be an asset. Be friendly with them so they'll take you to their next gig or something. You know what I'm saying? But I got to bring some people with me, dog. I just have to.
Ken folk, I understand if you hired us as some scouts. You know what I'm saying? Or put us in a war room during the draft or something. I understand consultants or something like that. But anyway, just the organization it's sad. It hurts my heart. You understand? As a former fan, it's devastating
Former fan. Say a former fan.
to see this NFL franchise, a professional organization and franchise, be run like this. Like it's a joke. Will you name 3 finalists and you don't hire none of the finalists, and you go completely left field and hire somebody that was already on your staff in the get-go that you could have been hired.
Yeah, but you still have to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? So interviewing other people to for the job when you got somebody in your back pocket. So Lovie Smith is in your back pocket. He's a former head coach. He done been to a Super Bowl. He's had some success in the NFL. You always can turn to him. Same thing with Romeo Crennel. You can always turn to one of them. They kind of in your back pocket. But you want to interview some other people, see what their vision is, see if you blown away. You know what I'm saying? Now I do believe because I think it was just too many reports of them wanting to hire Kay McCown. And
Yeah, I think
I do believe that's who they really want to hire. That Easterby was like, look, man, this dude is smart. He knows offenses. You know, he sold him to the ownership. You know what I'm saying? But it was too much backlash coming where the owners basically said, the GM, we can't do this.
well,
He might be a great guy and all that, but we can't do this. And so now it's kind of hard to go to some of your other people that you interviewed because now they know I wasn't your first choice, and here you is, trying to come to me. So what type of guarantees do I have that I'm gonna be able to keep this job longer, than a year or two? Lovie
I,
Smith was already on the roster or already on the coaching staff, already got a contract with the team. So now he's finna get a raise to stay on the same team where he ain't looking for a job. He gonna take it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My only thing is the team, release the press release. The team, this ain't just rumors. The team announced the three finalists. You know what I'm saying? Y'all announced Brian Flores, McClown, and the dude from the Rams, offensive coordinator. So when you release these three names, if you would release four and said Lovey, then we'd have been like, all right, you just pick one of the guys you release as your finalists. But when you release three and Lovey's not in it, you know what I'm saying? And those three guys you brought in for second interviews, and then you go with somebody else, it's just crazy to me. And then, my honest opinion, I honestly think all this changed when Brian Flores dropped that suit. Because I believe Nick wanted Brian Flores and Easterby wanted McClown, and they was bumping heads going back and forth on which way to go. Because when they fired Cully, was like they say, 2 days after Brian Flores got fired. And soon Nick made his first press conference. He said he wanted that's when he raved about Mike Tomlin. He wanted a Mike Tomlin type person in this organization going forward. You know what I'm saying? And Brian Flores is a cheap Mike Tomlin type coach.
So
And
why didn't they still go with Flores then?
Brian Flores and Nick are real close from their New England days. 15 years together in New England. They was close. And I think Nick wanted Brian Flores from the get-go. And if Brian Flores never drops that suit, never does the suit, I actually think Nick would have convinced the ownership to go with Brian. But I think Easterby wanted McClown from day one. And the problem they was probably having is if we go with Brian, are you going to let McClown be on your coaching staff? And Brian was probably like, hell no. Nah. Brian Flores is a credible coach. He was not going to take some high school third string NFL quarterback and put him on his offensive staff. And I think that's what the problem is because Brian knew if this guy's on my staff, in a year or two, you fire me and you elevate him to head coach. Because I think Brian did not trust Easterby, which nobody does. And I think that was the issue with the other coach in the Rams. They don't trust Easterby when he's in love with a particular guy. Like Lovie Smith got to know he got 2 years. And I think McClown's going to be the head coach when all this Brian Flores stuff dies down. Because guess who hires Brian Flores when all the smoke clears? Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, but that's because we had talked about this. I think me and Deron talked about this about the Brian Flores, where I don't think that he's gonna get another head coaching job. Big salute to Tomlin again. Tomlin saying that man wasn't gonna get a job, and he decided I'm not gonna let them blackball this brother up out the NFL like that. Like I'm not. I'm gonna put him front and center, and when my defense is acting the doggone fool, you gonna know why. It's gonna be because of that same brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got super amount of respect for Mike Tomlin and what he did.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, your Texans, they looking shaky out there.
And they dropped the ball on the perfect PR move. Because when that lawsuit dropped, if they would have still let Nick pick his guy and they would have picked Brian Flores, they would have looked real good.
Well, see,
After everybody looking at the front.
Casario should have quit then. Like, what good are you as a GM if you don't got the power to hire a head coach?
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And the reason why I say that is, and I quickly because I know it's getting late. When the Texans hired a GM, the hiring committee that the owner hired gave him a list of people. When he finally decided to talk to Deshaun Watson, Deshaun gave him a list of names. They all agreed on Khan, who was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They talked to Khan's agent, started negotiating the contract. Easterby comes in at the last minute and convinced the owner to go with Nick. You know what I'm saying? After a list of names was released of the finalists for the GM position, and they go completely left at the last minute and go get Nick, and Nick went on that list. Then last year with Cully, once again, a press release was released with a finalist for coach, and then they go completely left with Cully. And they turn around the third year in a row, do the exact same thing. This is all Easterby. It's the exact same thing. Easterby does the exact same thing every year. They release 3 names, and when those 3 names don't who they go with, they always get somebody off the left that nobody was even knowing was even in the running. That's how I know it's Easterby. Because Easterby did the exact same thing to hire GM, exact same thing to hire Cully last year. And I think he had a lot to do with hiring Lovie Smith because that no one else was going to take that job. They couldn't hire Flores. They couldn't hire McClown. The other
But
dude with the
they could have hired Flores. I
they
don't
could.
I don't know
I
why
think the owner said no
they
on that.
against.
I think the owner and Easterby said no on that.
Yeah, I could buy that.
Yeah, the owner said
And,
no.
and the backlash for McCown is why they couldn't hire him.
Right.
And maybe the last dude, called him and said, "Look, man, I want to be out the running. I ain't in the running."
Yeah, I think he backed out.
Yeah. So
Because
that left him to have to get somebody who wasn't on the list though.
exactly, love it.
You know what I'm saying? It was kind of forced on them to be put in that position. Now I didn't stated my position on the GM search um back, some years ago when we talked about this on our pod, and I stood by the Texans because I said, regardless of what the hiring firm said, that's just a asset. That's another um um another set of people that's giving you options.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to go with that if it's somebody else that you believe in, that you trust, that can do the job. You yourself said that Casario was capable. He had the resume, to be able to be a GM. He deserved the job. So whether he was on the list that Andre Johnson and the hiring firm put together or not, fact of the matter is you didn't get some dude like Cade McCown off the street who ain't got no front office experience. You got a dude who was qualified. And from what I understand from people, like if you look at the players that the Texans been getting, they ain't been having no horrible drafts like they was having with Rick Smith. So
Yeah, they didn't have a bad draft. I mean, he didn't have a lot of picks to work with. I mean, I'm not knocking Nick as a GM. I just think everybody that really follows a team kind of feels the same way I feel. If Easterby wasn't there, Nick would not only be a better GM, but this whole organization would be run totally different. And I think Nick would be really, really in control of the situation. But I think he's hamstrung because that's one of his best friends, Easterby. And Easterby got the power and the say so because he got the owner's ear.
Right. Well, that makes sense. But all right, big dog, man, I appreciate you for jumping in with your boy. Now you need to,
Tell
go make.
Ron, man, every weekend, man, he can't be having issues, technical issues every week, man. You don't have excuses, man. You know, when we can't make it, we can't make it. We understand, everybody working and stuff like that. But it's always technical difficulties with him.
Yeah, maybe his makeup didn't come through, so he ain't really want to be on camera like that. I'm just playing, family. I'm just playing. Don't take it personal. Hey, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us again. You know what I'm saying? I can't say exactly when we're gonna be back. It's kind of iffy catching up with some of these brothers. You
March
know what I'm
Madness.
saying? But we gonna be back on and chop it up again. We was gonna tap in on this Russia Ukraine type of thing if I got all of us
Yeah.
on.
We need to
You
do that
know,
tomorrow, man, or sometime later this weekend or something. We need to see what's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on with
We
Ukraine.
need to do it. We need to do it this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Before there's any super changes, drastic changes to what's going on. But yeah, man, we need to go ahead and chop it up about that. Um, and you know, see what else is going on in the news or whatever. You know what I'm talking about as far as sports go. Oh, and jump on March Madness. Unc was talking about us putting together a bracket, doing a bracket. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be something good for us to drop for, our subscribers too. So, that's what we're gonna try and bring to y'all, man.
One last thing, because it was a headline breaking news. What you think about Grambling firing Art Browse after only 1 week? I don't know if you followed that today.
I didn't. I haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying?
All because of Doug Williams' uproar.
See, I don't got no background on none of that.
Okay, quickly.
I really been, focused a whole lot on this Russia Ukraine thing. Trying
Quickly, I'll
trying
say
to.
this, and I want to know your take real quick. You get hired. You say you're Hugh Jackson, former NFL coach. HBCU hires you as the head coach, right? And of course, you Hugh Jackson, so you got a lot of clout. Hire who you want. You go outreach to one of the best offensive minds in college football, Art Browse, who's getting banished a little bit because what happened at Baylor with sexual stuff on his coaching staff that he ignored from his other coaches. You hire him as your offensive coordinator, and then the best alum that ever played at Grambling State, Doug Williams, Super Bowl winning Doug Williams, former coach too for Grambling, has an uproar about it, talks bad about the school for making that decision, and they end up firing Art Browse after he only been there for 1 week. If you're Hugh Jackson, what do you do?
Well,
Kind of like what you said about Nick.
so it was the head coach's job to hire him.
Yeah, the head coach hired him. He wanted him as an offensive coordinator. He picked his staff.
Well, it goes back to what I was talking about with hiring my partners and my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this dude has this type of thing basically hanging over him with the sexual assault, sexual misconduct, or whatever, and he was the head guy in charge, people under him, that had this going on, that's on his jacket, so to speak. The head coach don't turn around right after that happens and hires him onto his staff.
It was 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he ain't coached since.
Well,
This when RG3 was at Baylor.
so who decided to fire him? Was it the school?
The school. After he was already hired, school was happy to have him. Everybody was raving, talking about they're going to have the best offensive in college football and all that. It was their own alumnus who brought it up and shook up the whole media and everything, talked bad about the school. School turned back around and decided to go ahead and fire him after hiring him.
That's tough, bro. That's tough. But for the school, for them, they feel like if their number, that the top alum guy, basically the face of the school, is raising that much ruckus about it, that it's gonna be a bad public relations situation for the school going forward. And so they trying to get ahead of it. Now I find it hard to believe that the head coach hired him without letting people know that that's who he wanted to hire for his staff.
Well,
Even if he has the hiring power, it's a situation where you say, "Hey, man, to the I can't think of the name right now.
athletic director.
Your athletic director, that he ain't tell the athletic director, hey, man, this is the route I want to go, and bringing this guy in to be the offensive coordinator." And that guy ultimately signing off on it. Now, whether he knew the whole background of Art Browse or what happened with that situation or not, I don't know. But that's what it seemed like to me. The head coach did get an okay from somebody.
Yeah, he had to. He had
Yes,
to. They had a
yes,
contract.
that's my point. So they trying to get out in front of the public relations backlash that's gonna come if they keep him on the staff.
So if you Hugh Jackson, what do you do? If alumnus got that much power over who I get to bring in,
ain't nothing I can do. I ain't finna give up millions of dollars just because they
That's what I'm
fired an
saying.
offensive coordinator.
Now, mind you, this is HBCU, so you ain't getting $8 million like you at UT or something.
Yeah, but you still getting $3 million. You getting $2 million. You still getting paid. You getting some good money, dog. You know what I'm saying? And firing my offensive coordinator, even if it's my partner, you know what I'm saying? That I'm not finna do. I'm not finna, that's not something that I'm gonna stand on and be like, well, if he gotta go, I'm going to. No. Now I will go to the people ahead of me, and I'm saying, look, I understand what you're saying. I brought this by the athletic director, told him this is who I wanted to hire, and so he gave me the okay. This man himself has not been involved with any of the allegations. It was other people. He really had no wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? And so after the investigation, everything that went on, that's what came out. I didn't see an issue with it. I understand you saying that he was over the program, but at the end of the day, each man is responsible for his own actions, and to hold that over his head for a decade and to say that he can't get hired, that's tough. But I ain't quitting. That's out the door. I'm not
So third, if you watching third, you better not get no traffic tickets third.
hey, one thing about my brother, man, he gonna understand it. I think he'll tell me I'll be a doggone fool if I'm gonna quit because they made me fire him. So now what? We both out of a job. Neither one of us can pay our mortgage, because of something that happened. Nah, man.
But
Now,
third,
if I can do, if I can call another school or something else to try and see if they're hiring on, you know what I'm saying? Something low key like that. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? We could do that. Or as a scout, like you say, he may have to go all the way to the bottom. But
third, I want you to go and at least flip a chair somewhere or something. Go in one of them offices.
Like I said, I have a talking to him about it. But I ain't quitting and I ain't getting fired. Not for that. No, sir. No, sir.
All right, that's one of your take on
it. All right, fam. Again, man, I appreciate you, my boy.
All right, then.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all. Tell your friends about me.